Okay, we're going to start in supported bridge today. So take a block and place it underneath your sacrum, back of the pelvis. And we're going to start with our basic hip flexion march just to get warmed up. Let's feel our pelvic points draw in so that sacrum stays really steady, not shifting side to side. And we're just going to carefully pick up 1 foot at a time. Right away, making sure that we're not rocking to one side of the pelvis. We can really hold stable. Just a couple more marches. Keeping the shoulder blades down. And then we're going to pick up that right foot, either right hand to the thigh or left hand to the thigh. Let's resist. Try to push the thigh away, but don't let it move. You could absolutely just hold this or push into that left foot. See if you can lift the hips off the block and then tap back down. So we're coming into a supported single leg bridge, really working that left glute. Might be the tiniest little hover of the sacrum off the block. Pushing that right thigh away. And now land that right foot, pick up the left foot, hold that sacrum steady. Either hand comes to that left thigh, we push, 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 adding that resistance. This might be enough work today. Stay here or push into that right foot. Tiny little lift and lower off the block. Coming into a very tiny, quick single leg bridge. Really working the right glute. Keeping the shoulder blades down. Breathing however you need to breathe. Good. Bring that left foot down. We'll push into the feet, lift the hips off the block, and then slowly lower down. Once we land the hips, we'll come into a regular bridge. Press into the feet, lift up without thrusting the ribs, shoulder blades stay on the ground. You can have hands on the outer hips, and we're just going to flap the knees out and in, a little hip abduction, working the outer hip muscles like the glute medius, but keep pressing into the big toes. So the goal is to not rock to the outer edges of the foot, but really keep pushing into that whole foot as we just flap the knees out and in. Couple more flaps. Now hold the hips in our neutral bridge and let's just stretch out the left wrist. Breathe into the side and back ribs. Maintain that push into the big toes. Switch hands, stretch out the right wrist. Bring the hands down. We'll slowly lower down one vertebra at a time and then make our way to quadruped. Once we come to quadruped, we're going to have the block resting on our sacrum, the back of the pelvis. And if you want to be on forearms here, that's also an option. We're going to do our glute pulses. So you could be on hands or forearms. Draw those pelvic points in. Slide the left toes back without the right hip sinking out to the right. So keep that right hip over the right knee. Float the left toes and bend the knee. Without arching the back, can we pulse this right heel or left heel up toward the sky or the ceiling? Without drooping the ribs or dropping the belly, really thinking left glute, left glute. Zippering the pubic bone up to the belly button. Release that left knee down. Recheck your neutral spine, draw those pelvic points in, right toes back. without that left hip shifting over to the left. Keep it over the left knee as we float the right toes up and bend the knee. Tiny pulses. Lifting right heel up toward the ceiling without arching the back or drooping the ribs down. The right glute is working to extend the hip, bringing the leg behind us without anything in the front body changing. Lower down, move the block aside, and let's cat-cow. Moving the spine any amount that feels comfortable. Lifting the tailbone, inhale. Exhale, tuck the tailbone round the back. Let's make our way to downward dog. Nice neutral spine, tuck the toes, lift the pelvis up. Make sure the head isn't going between the arms. It's a little bit in front, so we don't want to be sinking the chest down. And you have the option to just be in down dog, maybe pedaling the feet out, or let's think about the glutes walking our dog. So float one leg up at a time, using the glute to lift the leg, and then step it down. Float the other leg up using the glute to extend the leg behind us. If you're adding that walk of the dog, lifting one leg at a time, make sure the spine doesn't change. So we don't arch the back, change the pelvis or the ribs, everything holds still. From down dog, let's walk the hands back toward the feet for happy squat. Big bend in your knees, belly toward the thighs. Press into the feet, let's rise up. Hands can come to the sides of the pelvis, holding the pelvic points level as we just abduct one hip at a time. Working the outer hips, just like we did in those bridge flaps. We slightly bring one leg out to the side without that hip getting higher. You get to the front. Let's pause there. Imagine that broom behind our back. We're going to start our sequence. Reach the arms up. Shoulder blades lift up. Hinge forward. Right foot steps back. We lower the knee, not the toes. So we keep those tucked under. Rise up, neutral spine. One hand comes to the skull, one hand comes to the sacrum to keep our spine long. Inhale, hinge forward, torso toward that left thigh. Exhale, push into that left foot, rise up. So we're hinging forward. Our left knee is not moving forward. Our left hip is moving back. Hinging at the hips, we're lengthening that left glute on the way forward, contracting it on the way up. Now come back to quadruped. Again, a block is going to come onto your sacrum, the back of the pelvis. Left toes slide back. Keep the right hip over the right knee. Float the left toes and bend the knee. This time, instead of glute pulses, we're going to externally and internally rotate that left hip. So the thigh bone rotates open or away from the body and then back in toward the body. Away from the body, external rotation. Internal rotation, it rotates in. Keep that right hip as stable as you can. Tighten those pelvic points in. Both arms are straight and strong. Good. You can lower the knee down, put the block aside. We're going to step our left foot forward. Rise up, turn to the right for goddess squat. We externally rotate the hips, bend the knees, and just pulse here. Slow or fast, zippering the pubic bone up to the belly. Hips go straight up and down. Press into your feet. Good, you can grab your block. We're gonna turn to the back of the mat. Kickstand hinge or split stance hinge. Right foot is forward, both knees are bent. Pretty much all your weight is in that right foot. You should be able to lift the back foot off the ground. We're gonna hinge forward. Inhale, belly toward that right thigh. Exhale, push into that right foot to rise up. Inhale forward, lengthening that right glute. Exhale, contracting the right glute. Imagine a broom behind your back. Any pace you want to work on this split stance or kickstand hinge. Really sitting back into that right hip. Push into that right big toe. You can put the block aside or just at the front of your mat. We're going to stay facing the back of the mat. Pick up the left foot. Either hand to the left thigh. Hip flexion, we add some resistance. And then step it down, pick up the right foot. Either hand to the thigh. Push the thigh or the knee down, but don't let it move. As you resist and add that push to the thigh, you should feel the standing leg glute have to kick on a little bit harder. Working on that single leg balance, single leg glute strength. The next time that left foot is up, pause there. And then step your left foot back, turn back to the side of the mat where we just were. Feet are parallel. We're gonna do eccentric side lunges. We just hinge slowly into that side lunge. Then you can come up a little quicker. Hinge slowly, other side. Push the ground away. So you don't have to come up quicker, but we're working that eccentric length of the glutes as we hinge, that slow hinge, lengthening the glute muscles. Nice long spine, really sitting back into the hips. Hip creases move back. Good. Turn toward the front of the mat. Block can come between ankles, knees, or thighs, whatever feels good. Give it a little hug. Knees as bent as you need or as straight as you want them as we hinge forward. Inhale, lengthening the glutes. Exhale, push into the feet, rise up. So we inhale, hinging forward, lengthening the glutes. They contract on the way up. Keep as much of a bend in the knees as you need to keep the spine long and neutral. All right, as you rise up, you can take the block out and we'll do the second side. Reach the arms up. Pinky fingers lift up, up, up. Hinge forward. Left foot back. Lower the knee, but keep the toes tucked. Rise up, either hand, skull and sacrum. Hinge forward. We just practiced this. Torso toward that right thigh. Push into the foot, rise up. So we're not letting the right knee move forward. We're sending this right hip back. Working on that hip hinge, lengthening that right glute. Hands come down for quadruped. Block comes to the sacrum. Zipper the pubic bone to the belly as you slide the right toes back. Float the right toes without the left hip moving, bend the knee. External and internal hip rotation. Low back doesn't change. We just feel the thigh bone rotate away from the body, external rotation, and in toward the body, internal rotation. Arms stay straight and strong. Front body lifts up. Bring the knee down, move the block aside. We're gonna step our right foot forward. Lift off that left knee, continue turning to the left, facing the side of the mat, toes turn out, goddess squat. Any pace, we pulse the hips straight up and down. Keep the pelvis and the spine neutral. Actively pressing into the feet. Now let's grab our block as we turn to the back of the mat for that kickstand or split stance hinge. Our left foot is forward, pretty much no weight in the right toes. Block is in the right hand, we hinge forward as we inhale. Exhale, push the foot into the ground, rise up. Inhale forward like a broom is behind you. Exhale, rise up. So we're sending that left hip back, lengthening that left glute as we hinge. You can put the block down or just bring it back to the front of the mat. We're going to stay facing the back of the mat. Hip flexion march. Either hand to the thigh. Let's try to push away and alternate. Feeling that standing leg glute really work to stabilize, help keep us balanced. Pause when that right foot is up. We'll step the right foot back, turn back to the side of the mat where we just were. Parallel the feet, slow hinge into that side lunge. Push the ground away, rise up. Side lunge to the left, slowly hinge. Push the ground away, use the glutes to get back up. So we're lengthening the glutes as we hinge forward, contracting the glutes as we rise up. Turn back to the front of the mat. Block either between ankles, knees, or thighs. Knees as bent as you need for hip hinges. Inhale forward. Imaginary broom behind you. Exhale, push the feet into the ground, rise up. Inhale forward. Lengthening the glutes. Exhale, rise up. Couple more. Okay, take the block out. We're gonna stream that together. So we'll add on a little bit more, add on a little more challenge. Reach the arms up. Pinky fingers lift way up. Hinge forward. Right foot steps back. Lower the knee, not the toes. Same hip hinges. Hands, skull and sacrum. Inhale, hinge forward. Exhale up. Not too many of these. Lengthening the left glute as we hinge forward. And come back up. Make sure you're not rounding the back or dropping the head down. Hands come down for quadruped, block on the sacrum, or you have the option again to come to forearm quadruped if that feels better. Left toes slide back, zipper the pubic bone up. We're gonna float the left toes and bend the knee. This time we go back to glute pulses. Lift that left heel up toward the ceiling without arching the back or drooping the ribs. Keep that right hip stable over that right knee. Knee comes down. If you're on forearms, come back up onto your hands. Move the block aside. We step that left foot forward. Turn to the right side of the mat into that goddess squat. Stick with what we did the first time or alternate, lifting one heel at a time. Pushing into the big toes. Hips go straight up and down. You're going to take your block with you as we turn to the back of the mat. This time for kickstand hinges or split stance hinges, the block is going to come between the thighs or the knees. Most of our weight is in that right foot. Left arm reaches down. We're going to turn our belly button or our pelvis toward that right thigh as we hinge, adding a little rotation. Exhale, push into that front foot, rise up. Inhale, we turn the belly button toward that right thigh. Exhale up. So we've added two things, a little rotation to really lengthen the right glutes on the way down. And the block between the thighs or the knees gives us a little bit more of that inner thigh and pelvic floor support. Push into that right foot. Good, take the block out, turn back to the side of the mat. We will side lunge to the left. Curtsy squat, right leg behind. Side lunge to the right. Left toes come behind, curtsy squat. Any pace, land softly and quietly in that lunge. Lengthening the glutes. We're going to take one more side lunge to the right and hold it there. Press into both feet, zipper the pubic bone up. Turn to the front of the mat. We're going to end up in a forearm side bridge, but you're welcome to pause in quadruped first, coming to hands and knees, and then roll onto the outer right hip, right forearm. You can put the block between the knees or the thighs if you'd like. Let's exhale, push down to lift that right hip off the ground. Land softly. Push to lift, it might be a tiny little hover. And land. Push down to lift any pace. Lifting and lowering with control. Good, take the block out, head back to quadruped. Tuck the toes, down dog. Hike the pelvis up, make sure the head's not going between the arms. Stay here or add those walks where we think about the glute lifting or extending the leg behind us. Pressing into the fingers, the fingertips, the knuckles. We'll walk it forward, bent knee, forward fold. Press the ground away and rise up. Second and last side, reach the arms up. Pinkies lift. Hinge forward. Left foot back. Lower the knee but not the toes. We're in our 90-90. We'll add those hinges, hands to skull and sacrum. Inhale forward. Exhale up. Inhale, hinge forward. Exhale up. Any pace. Sending that right hip back. Hands come down for quadruped, or you're welcome to lower onto forearms. Block to the sacrum. Right toes back. Zipper up. Float the right toes and bend the knee. Tiny glute pulses here. Working that action of hip extension, bringing the leg behind the body, using that right glute. Cinch those pelvic points in. Bring it down, move the block aside, come onto your hands if you were on your forearms. Right foot steps forward, we lift the left knee, turn to the side of the mat, goddess squat. Pulse here, up and down, or you can lift one heel at a time. Zipper the pubic bone up to the belly. Make sure your ribs are stacked right on top of the pelvis. Grab your block, turn to the back of the mat. Block comes between knees or thighs for those kickstand hinges. Both knees are bent, basically no weight in the right foot. Right arm reaches down, we turn the belly button toward that left thigh. And then rise up. Inhale forward. Exhale, rise up. So make sure the belly button's kind of turning toward that left thigh as you hinge. We get that extra length at the back of the left hip. Using the block between the legs for that extra stability and support. Push into that left foot. Good, take the block out. We turn to the side of the mat. Side lunge right. Left toes cross behind, curtsy squat. Side lunge left. Right toes come behind, curtsy squat. Keep alternating, land softly into that side lunge. Landing the heel quietly as we really sit the hips back. We'll take one more side lunge to the left and hold there. Zipper the pubic bone up. Turn back to the front of the mat. We're going to end in that forearm side bridge, but you're welcome to come to quadruped first. Transition onto that outer left hip, left forearm. Block between the knees. Exhale, push down to lift. Land quietly. Push down to lift. Land quietly. Might be a tiny little hover. Working that outer left hip and glute. Good, take the block out, make your way back to quadruped. This time, we're going to bring the hips into internal rotation, so knees where they are, feet nice and wide. And we'll just cat-cow or pelvic tilt here with the hips in that internal rotation. Getting a little bit of stretch and length in the outer hips. Bring the ankles back into that neutral position. We're going to cross our left knee behind the right. Any amount wherever it lands without turning or wagging the tailbone. So keep the spine nice and long. And we just try to rock the hips back any amount and rock forward without tucking the tailbone. Rocking back and forward. So now we're stretching the very back of that left hip joint. Probably doesn't have a lot of movement available. Uncross. Right knee crosses behind. Make sure the tailbone isn't wagging either side, but nice and neutral as we rock the hips back and forward. Pelvis tries to stay neutral, so we're trying not to tuck or tilt the tailbone. When you're ready, we'll come onto our backs for a quick figure four. You're welcome to have a block either underneath the head or underneath the sacrum, whatever feels good. Feel for that triple S, keep the sacrum down, the shoulder blades down, and we'll cross the right ankle over. You're welcome to stay here and add a little rock side to side on the pelvis. You can pick up the left foot and rock side to side. Anything that feels nice as we stretch the outer right hip. Release that right foot down. Recheck that the shoulder blades are down and the sacrum as we cross the left foot over. Add any movements that feel good to enhance this left outer hip stretch. Maybe you want to pick up the right foot and rock. Anything you'd like. Let's hug the knees in. You can rock side to side or give the hips a little circle. Feel free to stay on your back or roll to your side or make your way into a seated position. We'll close our eyes. Hands can rest on your body or along your sides. Relax your forehead and your jaw. Relax around the pelvis and the glutes. Deepen your breath, inhaling and feeling the rib cage expand front, side, and back. Take a moment to thank yourself for your practice today. Sending one grateful thought out into the universe.